The problem is that you don't get chance to cause them walking, and who's gonna be right to sit?
We were gonna get those other.
I've got coyote tracks.
Where you can put your.
You mean the dogs?
The dogs, come to get them. I have to stay up all night to get them.
They're like.
So, but they're coming like at 3 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock. They don't bark.
It is.
Yeah, they don't bark. They just creep up.
Well, we might be able to
They
get.
don't make any noise at all. Cause I was at my house and I got touched once, there's 8 of them on my porch.
Anyway.
And they make zero noise. It's not even my dogs. It's fenced around the back where the alpacas are, it's fenced around the pasture, but it's not fenced around the front. It's so much yard. Have you seen the
That's
yard?
really kind of yeah, we're right at the time, you say, well,
Okay.
you don't say, yeah. But you just want to carry.
Thought about it, I know, I can't afford it either, there's no say I'm just not gonna do it, but if it's not pretty though, I won't like it. I have field fence around my pasture. Yeah.
They give you about that.
Yes, yeah, we're looking into that.
Yes. He's he said he'd come over quite often.
Uh-huh.
How do you
Go north.
okay.
I'm not sure.
Snow.
Bears.
Snowbird.
No. I said, man, I said, I ain't got use for it, really.
Yeah.
You know, cause I don't have it, yes. I said, but I know who would probably like it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I had to research to see.
Oh my God, I've never heard of it. That's a new one.
Well, and, you know.
Snow fencing?
Yeah, listen, what is that called?
That's what I kept with. That's what I
Yeah,
kept.
it was
I call it
me,
snow
just briefly,
There's.
and then number of them in my.
It's like the
You know,
window,
he's got his own practice set behind his house.
they was all up in one.
He's
Look it up.
Yeah, they have to
He's
call
one of
snow
them.
fence, apparently.
But he's basically,
Snow
he
fence?
does a lot of.
It's very possible they built fences to keep it.
Yeah.
Or it's still snow.
He's a lot of churches.
But it's a roll of wooden snow
He lives
fence.
here.
No, he lives in, Shoreland or
Drive by my house, I have snow fences.
Because he was.
It's 4 feet tall, 50 foot,
Harris County, yeah.
it's a 50-foot roll.
Because they said I needed.
How did I not know this? And I got 8 dogs that want my horse in there. And then we had a problem with dogos, those French Canadian dogs, they have twice the body power of a bull. And they will take down horses, they will take down the animals. We've already killed 3, we got 1 left.
Lewis.
It's not ours, it's an American breeding, they can't control it.
Ryan.
They can't control it, and so they just, they have like,
Lewis got
marauders.
it.
They killed all of my neighbors,
Yeah, why did I say Ryan?
all of the
No,
animals.
no, that's all right.
So,
So.
well, we've already killed 3.
Yeah, no.
We got 1 left, and we can't see them catch him, so I've got coyote traps down.
County.
Like live traps?
Oh, really?
Those are
But
crazy.
I looked it up.
Coyote traps? Yeah.
It's just subject to Commissioner's Court.
All right, I'm gonna check this out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
I mean, we would just have to carry.
But I could put this on the already.
No.
Low cost snow fence keeps drifting snow away from highways, roads. Okay, each picture's uniform in space and it's
Ah, cool.
Both of them, right, is up
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm assuming you would.
So I can see snow fence.
Yeah.
I have to check it out like.
Yeah, I gave Lewis his contact.
Yeah, I know they.
I don't know.
gone back and forth a little
You
while.
run it?
Yeah, but I think
A
it,
mile and a quarter.
they said he only does
It's past the fire
practice
station,
on
the new
Tuesdays
one.
and Thursdays for sees patients.
How old is it?
Oh, I do know, yeah, I just don't.
It's a gray, it's a different, gray different.
Middle age.
Gray workshop.
I've never seen him.
And the mailbox
In
in
person.
front of the red, white, and blue. Minus the
He
American
said,
flag.
he said, "Yeah, we're doing it."
In my office. But all the driveways, that driveway serves all those houses, because it goes down the driveway, past Mount High Blood Pressure, back to Jay's house. And then Sierra's house will eventually be back there too.
Yeah, we'll talk later.
Okay, all right. That's good.
That's good.
That's my city crazy.
We have people in the
You know,
house.
having.
How long does it last? How long does it last?
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
Huh?
What are you telling me?
Yeah.
Oh, I just said when you come over.
So what do you do?
Bring it, so-
One of our 4 posts? Attach it to it?
Trustworthy, loyal, helpful.
Oh, I'm
parties,
I appreciate it, but I feel like
That's
that's
not what it
not.
was out.
You know,
Is that the? Oh, okay.
Are you gonna be able to, are you gonna be there
I don't
tomorrow?
have, I don't have lots of deer stuff there in the front yard.
We got
And the deer, we
four
get back,
Yeah.
they come to the back where the pond
What I
is.
started doing on that one is that.
We don't have like.
Tickets, my tickets. I've been driving.
I wanna keep dogs.
Oh. I think I've seen Dr.
And they're only 14 dogs.
You gonna do like you did last time? We had to go over there?
Because that was easy, that was the best thing, but all of those were improved. I don't think I'd have to say.
I don't think there's a lot of people
I know, but, you know, I'm leaving with that guy.
Honestly, I have all of those in my house, but I do are probably to my same to my house.
So that's April.
there. Yes, they got called.
The, like, 1 and 2 and 6 are in the annexes, and there's a little bit more.
So when you get another trap, you get a different color, I guess.
They do
Why would
allow
you want
people
to?
in. Always subject to.
That's right.
Okay,
And let me tell you what I thought about some of the line.
well, it's attractive.
What up, Blue Bonnet?
Hi, looking at wood fencing, he told me about snow fencing. I've got dogs still coming to my house. We had 8 dogs on the front porch. We have Dogo. Remember, well, no, I called, I called, Hugh Bishop went and paid a visit to the neighbors and told them, and he says, I can't control the dogs. We've already had to kill 3 of these Dogos. There's 1 more we're gonna kill. It's an Argentinian hunting dog. It's big, it has bigger bite power, and it's bigger than a pit bull.
Really?
Yes, it's big enough to take down a deer. It's big enough to take down hogs and deer and cows and stuff. Argentinian.
Well, I mean, how about?
Oh, my neighbor, no, people breed them. Because they're $2,500, my neighbor was breeding them. And we've had to kill 3 so far. 1 was in my pickup, 1 was in my alpaca enclosure. The other one did. One did. One did, and we killed it. The other one killed all of my neighbor's animals, every animal. Every animal, I killed all. They even ripped open their
Yeah, well, yeah, I can see her post.
their alpacas, yeah. But some of the hurts my alpacas. There'll be a lot of killing. No, they're for fiber. They're for fiber. They're ready to cheap. Yes. Because they're not always cooperative. Well, I have 2 that I see with the 2 they're going to Conroe to find their alpaca farm over there. Because they have to actually strap their legs to the ground. Yeah, and they cry the entire time they're getting sheared. It's like.
Just like that.
But they have to get their teeth cut. So it's like if I were to people from the north come down. They have a plate, they have a plate on the top of their mouth, and they have teeth on the other bottom. So it's like a chew. Yeah, they'll chew like that and die, because they don't have teeth on the top.
Her boyfriend had 100 and something.
So you give them a apple, they'll chew all day long. No, no, you can show them. So I'm very.
Everybody wants
I
to.
don't want to hurt them. I put
They're not even okay.
They get better treatment than everybody else. Yes, I had seagulls, I had chickens, I have dragons, every time I moved it, I had sheep.
Hey, where does that go?
Yeah.
It's like you think, oh, I need to boil it or this and that, but it's not the most comfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah, everyone doesn't like
But do you guys sense the one with all the animals?
Look how long these barrel back there.
I had to get out, you know, sometimes you just stand back and laugh.
40 years.
I'm not itching to snake, I just grab it with my bare hands, and he's like. They're not right. I do, if I know that they're not, then I just grab them, I call them. So for me to talk about throwing dog, I have to really, today, I take them like straight in the woods and let them go. Yeah, I do. Like these dogs, they have to go because they're trying to hurt my animals. It's between me and them now.
What we
So, yeah, I was enjoying separating animals. It's just not in my nature. I think I killed one animal in my entire life. It's because it was a rock where I was trying to attack my daughter. When she was 6, she's now 30. She was 6 years old, but he was trying to attack her. So we got a boyfriend's house, and he went under my house all the time. So my. And he had to go under the house, and then I felt horrible, I just can't hurt him.
I was trying to create that Zoom stuff.
I'm trying to get him past it, because I can't send them off to be slaughtered. I can't do it. Look at this, I'm laughing.
So I've got to just take the list out of all of this.
Do what? They don't know.
Oh, yeah, I can stand that and get it on the old meeting.
I quit naming my chickens. I quit naming my chickens after my lunch chicken section. I didn't sit at the seven parents. And I thought I can't go. Make sure my family got it.
Everyone was trying to frame.
Yeah. But not the babies.
What's the number here?
Yes.
At that point.
No. They're babies. They're my babies. They're meant to be adopted.
Yeah, that's what I was.
2202.
Yeah.
Well, one of my alpacas, she had a baby this year, and she lost it. After 4 days, we tried. She wouldn't get mailed. We were trying to file it and everything else, and we took it. We tried to save it. But, after I know that, myself, I
Well, it depends on
but the day that I picked up the llama,
Get up and get off.
it's the feeling of seeing her, she knew that was her protection. So she saw me all over the course.
Lee, the cord is muted. I can't hear y'all.
Yes, sir, I did that because Jay was on the phone. I'll unmute it in just a second.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
I don't know who's shining, he knew he had it.
All right, special meeting, Commissioner Court, Liberty County, Texas. It's a little bit after 2, about 3 minutes after 2, August the 31st. We have quorum established. City Commissioner Wilson is with us. I don't see Commissioner Reeves. But Commissioner Arthur Kowalski here with us today. So we do have a quorum established. And we have this for the court. So first item on the agenda is extend declaration of disaster of Hurricane Laura. And as y'all know, the Lord blessed us very, very, very well. And we don't have a reason to extend the disaster declaration. We all need to thank the good Lord and not extend. So I need a motion second.
Make a motion not to extend.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nay. Okay, that motion carries. Thank you, Joe. Number 2, consider and approve hazard pay policy for any county department whose department head or elected official decides to award it. And consideration of any necessary budgetary transfers to affect the purposes of this policy. Okay. Well, there's several questions I'm going to have. Of course, I don't get to vote anyway, unless I just have to. So here we go. But same token, you know, at the last meeting we did discuss. Well, it's almost kind of like watching a football game when the star fullback gets tackled, everybody piles on. It's kind of how it felt for a moment there. But anyway, let's see if we can peel back the layers and figure out exactly what's going on. The Sheriff's Department did get a hazardous duty pay. $8 for boots on the ground deputies and $4 for clerks, secretaries, dispatch and such. So now, as was mentioned, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, so it applies to everybody. And the question is, do we have the money? Angela, do we have the money?
So are we talking about having the money countywide between all of the departments? Because I know it's been back and forth as far as if it was in a department or if the department didn't have extra money. We are working on calculating how much money we do have countywide with the with payroll dollars that haven't been spent to date. That's not ready yet. Dwayne did ask that if you needed those numbers today, that we needed to table this. We've just been working on it, but we haven't had sufficient time to get that ready. Is that the question though, that we're going to do it countywide, not departmentally as it originally had been presented?
Matthew, what were your thoughts?
Last week's were specific departments, so this would open it up to any and all departments.
Mm-hmm. But again, any and all departments, with us pooling together those payroll dollars that have not been spent countywide among all the departments, because we know some departments did not have additional payroll dollars to date.
Or other, I mean, you know, so I think it would be possible. Now, I don't know the books of it. I don't know the numbers, but what I could say legally, it would be possible to pull it from, you know, other sources, other line items.
Right.
Angela?
Oh, go ahead.
Angela? Can you hear me, Angela?
Yes.
Okay. We won't be asking for it. My precinct will not be asking for it. And I do know that I probably do have some leftover funds in the payroll line item.
Mm-hmm.
But it's to my understanding that commissioners will not be allowed to share that to other departments. Is that correct?
I don't believe that you could share it with the general fund. I believe you could share Fund 15 money in Fund 15.
Okay.
That makes sense. Road and bridge money stays with road and bridge. Now, as far as the general fund, like I said, we're working on some calculations to see how much additional payroll dollars we have to date that have not been expended, so that we can see what dollars we have to work with. And then if this is something you guys want to do, we'll have to figure out which departments want to participate. And then we'll run some dollar figures off of that, depending on how many employees are in each department.
Understood.
Angela,
Mhm.
don't we already have a 1.2 or $1.4 million shortfall on our insurance?
We do have a shortfall on the insurance. I wouldn't have the exact amount. And I know that is a concern. Because when we borrow payroll dollars, and that's another thing, payroll, you know, what are we considering payroll? FICA, Medicare, and benefits, because we probably need to protect that benefit line, which is the health insurance, to make sure we can cover any shortfall that we have.
But Angela, this money's already been budgeted to the payroll line items, correct?
I'm sorry, do what?
This money has already been budgeted for this fiscal year for the payroll line items, correct?
Yes, for the payroll line items, yes. I would just caution that if we include health insurance as a payroll line item, that might be a concern, because we need to make sure we can cover that health insurance shortfall that we already know exists. So,
Angela, I got some preliminary numbers last week. If it covers everybody in the county on the payroll, it's around $917,000. That's not $917,000. That's not including benefits. Okay, you start throwing benefits in there, you can tack on another 30%.
mhm.
So that's just,
That's their gross amount that they would be paid without FICA and Medicare?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and then here's our dilemma. We don't have a dollar answer right now. It's being prepared. It's being worked on. Now, it's being worked on today. I don't know how soon that will be ready. I would say at least a couple of days before we can have a firm dollar amount to let you know how much additional payroll has not been expended up until today.
you think you might could have it ready by Thursday, Angela? I don't want to put you in a bind.
I think we sure could, that shouldn't be a problem. I think with the evacuation and the storm, that put us back a little bit. And so I know it's being worked on already today. We just don't have that number finalized, but you're telling me that you think that it'll be $917,000 gross plus the Medicare and Social Security.
Correct.
Okay.
That's for everybody.
Now, Jay, you include the road and bridge?
It's everybody. That's,
Yeah, I've been,
I understand what you're saying, Leon. I just ran the number for everybody.
I see.
Matthew, is there a legal definition for hazardous pay?
No, there is not. It's pursuant, to county policy. The analysis would go something like, you can't give public funds for private purposes, of course. Employee compensation, though, is given in exchange for something that the county receives. It is appropriate to consider employee morale and, of course, fair wages. But hazard pay, it's not required by the law, but it is a part of, a whole package that we consider, right? So, but nevertheless, once it's given to one, it makes it a little bit more difficult to defend whenever it's not given to the others.
There it is. And I don't have a problem. If that's what y'all want to do, you can give it away. It's fine with me. But just understand what I'm looking at down the road. Okay? As Uncle Joe, the contractor, would say, let me caution you, it will come back to bite. I don't want to see that happen. So let your conscience be your guide. Can we have a meeting on Thursday afternoon about this time?
Yeah, as long as we make the 72-hour notice.
That be,
So it might have to be a little bit later to give time to post.
Leon, at 3 o'clock on Thursday, be okay?
Jay, I'll probably be on the road. Could we set it for Friday?
I'll probably be on the road too.
Yeah. I know about 1 o'clock Thursday, I will be hitting the highway.
Yeah,
Next Monday, do it next month.
we do it Monday, that's
Or
fine.
Tuesday's our regular agenda meeting.
That's all we want to get this resolved as quickly as possible.
That would give Dwayne and Angela time, a little more sufficient time to get things.
Let's put it on the agenda for Tuesday then, regular commissioners court.
That'll work.
Make a motion to table.
Do you need, I'm just curious, if you're gonna vote on that date, do you need to know every department that wants to opt in and out before that date?
Yes,
What's your agenda item gonna say?
we'll write it up where everybody can understand it.
Well, I mean, if you say whoever wants it, but don't put anything specific, is that okay to then say specifics when you vote?
Yeah, it is. Open meetings notice does not have to include every detail necessarily.
So if it's similar to what's on there today, you better make note if you want to opt in or opt out
Yeah.
Tuesday.
We can write it like do period, you period, want period.
Right.
I do it that way.
I just mean like, if you pass through Tuesday, and some department say, well, I didn't know, and then you're gonna be doing another one of these.
Yeah.
And another agenda item somewhere in the future for that
So
too.
we'll be ready for it.
Okay, so would you like the department heads beforehand to send you, so you guys know how you're gonna do it, that want to participate and then, to what, if they're willing to then give any surplus they may have after their employees are paid, to donate to it, call it a pool, I understand that, sure, that seems smart, just so we send some kind of notice like that to you guys,
I'd like that.
is that okay?
Yeah. Angela, you follow that?
I think I did. I think when you address it on Thursday, and I'm sure you all know this, just be specific as to which departments, what number of employees, and the dollar amounts that we're going to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna bump the actual vote and meeting for a regular court a week from tomorrow.
Exactly what we're gonna be looking at. We're looking at putting all the money in one pot and dividing it between everybody who wants to participate.
Well, I think as Angela said earlier, road and bridge can't go into that fund.
Right. But if you don't get different departments within the general fund, then there will be departments that do not have a dollar to spare, and they will not be able to participate. So that's something you guys need to work out, I guess.
Another question I have is, department heads or elected officials, whatever the case may be, they have to voluntarily give this money because it can't be taken from them the way I understand it. Is that correct?
That's the way I look at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, you better get in if you want in.
Yep. Right. Volunteers, I like that idea.
So in that sense, I guess what we're going to do, right, is we're going to figure this out by department, and then we're just going to have a tally. But then we'll have to know which departments are volunteering to pool their money.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, the other question.
Angela?
Yes.
We will need to know which department are pulling their money. Also, as Logan indicated, I think last meeting, he was willing to give and put forth whatever extra he had. So if we pull this all into one big giant pot, and the amount of employees that are going to be requesting it, could there some way that you could come up with an average hourly rate based on that amount that we have in the pot for each and every employee that wants it?
I would think so. Do we know what date it would start so that we could calculate the number of hours?
At Tuesday.
It'd be Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday. All right.
The day of the regular meeting.
Okay. All right. We'll run a bunch of numbers and let you guys know on Thursday. Tuesday. We changed it to Tuesday. Right. Gotcha.
Yes, so we're gonna look at throwing all the money in one pot.
I can't do that.
But as of now, can we clarify what the additional was for the sheriff's office?
Initial for the sheriff's was $8 for the boots on the ground commissioned officers and $4 for everybody else per hour.
And we know that's what actually got calculated. I just wanted to clarify, because I know there was some talk at a later date that it might have been a little less, but where we were 8 and 4,
No, it was a little less, but I can't remember the exact.
7 and 3. I think it might have been 7 and 3.
I think you're right.
Did it say 4 and 8 or 7 and 3?
I'm not sure.
You want to take Shirley right quick and ask? Call him. We got time. We're checking right
Back
quick.
and forth. They were back and forth, so I'm not sure what actually went out. So
Precinct 1 will not be participating in this along with precinct 4.
You couldn't give your money to
No,
anybody anyway.
but I mean, I'm not gonna give up my hands, I'm not going to toss them in with the hazardous pay.
I kind of like the idea of, okay, if you got money in your budget to do it, then do it. Or if you got, like Logan wants to help the constables out.
Yeah.
Rather than throw everything in.
Ms. Chambers, you said you couldn't throw yours in the pot?
Well, Greg, what are we gonna do about the individuals that don't have the money? Let's say, I'm just using Lee as an example, and she doesn't have the money to pay her employees, but they were working during that period or this period. I believe it would be fair to each and every department head besides me, which I'm not going to request any of that, but for the rest of the department heads, elected officials, to include Jay. I know Dee Dee was there, and there's no doubt Dee Dee was there. He doesn't, I don't believe, have the money to do something like that, but at least it's only fair to Dee Dee and any other of the employees throughout the county.
Well, they can't take the 4 commissioners' money,
No.
so that's not gonna leave a very big pool to draw from.
No, it's not. Not there.
If it's 50 cents an hour, it's better than nothing.
I can cover mine because records management covers salaries. For instance, that's how I paid for the interns that cleaned out the attic this summer and all of that. So I can use that money to pay my guys, but I can't give the money away. It has to be used for records.
right, some of the funds have to be used. The special revenue funds cannot be shared. Right.
I can use it to cover mine, but I can't give it away. I don't know what's in the rest of my regular budget. There might be a little, but not too much.
Sure, narrowing that down to departments that have money spare.
For the record, my office at $4 an hour would be $10,800, and I can't remember the change. So I figured with insurance and the other benefits added in, it would be right around $20,000. And like I said, we do have the money to cover that. In fact, we took in more than that on the last, what was it, Tuesday? We took in $25,000 in fees. So we have more than enough, I know, to cover mine. But I don't know how I could give any of that away. But they've earned it. They work with the public the whole time. They work the elections. They've been exposed. And a lot of them got it. So they definitely have done the hazard work.
8 and 4.
8 and 4. Angela, it is 8 and 4. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, we need a motion to table action. Motion for commissioners to table this until next Tuesday, a week from tomorrow.
I second it.
I got a motion from Bruce, second from Greg. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nay. Okay, that motion carries. So we're gonna table this until Tuesday, a week from tomorrow.
Make a motion to
Got a motion to adjourn.
Thanks.
Got to say, Leon got that in there pretty quick. All right. All in favor, say aye. We're adjourned.
No, it's not. I want to be a fun one. It would be easier to clear all of that. Oh. I'm taxpayer.
We're good.
You're allowed.
Taxpayer, and I don't like